beautiful people, let's get started with today's look. I'm going to be dipping into my Honey palette from Colourpop, and I'm going to be using the shade Stinger. Since I'm going to be doing a full cut crease, I'm going to focus first on defining that first crease and making that wing shape. I'm packing the eyeshadow on, but using like slightly subtle motions for blending, but mostly focusing on packing. Using the shade Totally Bugging, I'm going to be packing it on right below Stinger. I'm going to go in with the shade Buzzkill, and I'm going to be using this shade to add more depth to the crease. So I'm using a smaller detailed brush so I can really pack on that shade but also blend it out just the slightest bit at the same time. I'm going to pick up my Colourpop Sweet Talk palette, and I'm going to use the shade Feel Free and add this to the crease with that small detail brush. So my intentions were to fully use the Honey palette, but I just wasn't getting that depth that I really wanted in the crease, so I ended up going back in with this deeper shade. I'm going to dip into West Side now, and I'm going to place that right above Feel Free so I have a smoother transition between those light yellow hues and that darker, deeper shade that I just added. As usual, I'm going in with my Kat Von D concealer, and I'm going to use this to carve out the lid space. So I'm using very small strokes at first to kind of define the crease shape, and then as I'm defining it, I'll also go in and fill it in. I'm going to be kind of messy towards the end, like right here where I'm carving out the wing space where I'm going to be adding in a wing, because I'm going to clean it up later, so it doesn't really matter, right? Then I'm picking up the shade Work It, and I'm using a flat brush to just pack that eyeshadow right on top of the concealer. So whenever I cut my crease or whatever I'm doing, carving out that lid space, I always like to go back in with the last shadow that I did before to add that depth back and to really clean up the line, but also add like a starker transition, but also get that depth that I'm going for. So I'm actually going to be using my Melt Cosmetics lipstick to create the shape and also base for the wing liner. So this is Decaf. So that shade is actually unfortunately discontinued, but they have Circuit. I don't have it, but I know Colourpop does have a few gel eyeliners, or wherever you can get a gel blue eyeliner, you can use that as a base. You don't have to use the same shade that I'm using, and just go in, focus first, or I focus first on creating the shape of the wing, making sure it lines up with that first crease, and then I'm going in and I'm filling it in. Then I'm going into my Urban Decay Electric palette, and I'm picking up the shade Gunzo, and I'm going to be packing this on with a blending brush on top of the base that I had before. So this is another case where I know this palette is discontinued, but guys, use whatever blue eyeshadow you like and you have. Like, yo, like, use what you got, girl. You ain't gotta spend coin. Now I'm picking up the shade Rubbish from my Melt Cosmetics Rust Stack, so I'm focusing this on top of the cut crease. So I know that it kind of had a little bit of a white cast from that eyeshadow that I first put down, so I'm going back in, I'm focusing this right below the brow and blending out that area. And see, I kept it 100, we cleaning up that area where we had too much concealer. Like, see girl, we got it, it's all good. Going in with my Fenty Beauty matchstick in the shade Espresso, I'm placing this in all the areas that I want to add depth and contour my face. And now I'm going in with my beauty blender and blending everything out so it's damp with water, and we doing the do, yo. Next, I'm going in with my Fenty Beauty Match Sticks in the shade Suede. So what I like to do is, whenever I do my foundation like this, where I don't put, or I put the foundation on last, so I'm not going in with the foundation first, I like to put down my highlight first in one spot and blend it out, because I feel like if I put it everywhere and blend it out later, it's more likely that the product will crease up. So I'll put it in one section at a time and blend that out and then move on to another section. So I'm hoping it kind of prevents creasing. Sometimes I feel like it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I'm figuring it out, guys. I'm figuring it out. Now I'm going to go in with my Fenty Beauty foundation. It's a Pro Filter foundation, and I'm going in with the shade 450. So what I like to do is place it on the back of my hand first, blot it out because I don't want to go in too heavy-handed since I already have product on my face, and I'll go back and forth between blending everything out and then picking up more product as I go. So using that same beauty blender that's actually still damp, I'm going in with my Kat Von D translucent setting powder, and I'm placing it on all the areas that I highlighted on my face. I actually really like doing this. It's like I keep pressing it in into the areas until like the powder just disappears, and I don't know, there's something about a damp beauty blender and using that powder, like the translucent powder, like it does something magical, guys. I don't know what it is, but it's magical. You know, it just is. And now I'm using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish powder in the shade Dark Deep, and I'm placing it in all the areas that I didn't have the translucent powder. Now I'm using my MAC Smolder Eye Kohl, and I'm just going to line my waterline and also my upper waterline as well. So now I'm going to dip into my Kat Von D Shade and Light eye palette. I'm picking up that black eyeshadow and I'm packing it first on the waterline and blending it out. Whenever I put black in the waterline, I like to set it first with an eyeshadow because it helps it last, and then I'll go in and blend it out a bit. I'm picking up the shade Feel Free again from the Colourpop Sweet Talk palette, and I'm going to smudge that right below that black eyeshadow. Picking up the shade West Side, I'm going to blend that right below that shade we just placed down. I'm going in now with my Kat Von D tattoo liner in the shade Trooper Black, so I'm creating a very thin line just to prep for my lashes. Picking up the shade West Side, I'm placing this closer to where like my nose area starts, right below the brow. I don't know how to describe that, but pretty much that area felt a little bit too empty on the color range. Like there was something where it looked a bit off, so I'm adding more of a warmth to that area. And then I went in with my blush from Colourpop in the shade Parakeet, and now I'm going in with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy highlight and highlighting my nose, brow bone, and cheeks. For the lips, I'm going in with my Melt Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Ambrosia. Now I'm going in with the Melt Cosmetics lipstick in the shade Summer. And I'm going back in with that lip liner just to define the lip shape a little bit better. And on top of that, I will be putting my Anastasia Beverly Hills lip gloss in the shade Gilded. And to finish this look off, I'm going in with my e.l.f. Illuminating Mist and Set Spray. I am totally wearing the same lipstick. What are you talking about? So I wanted to do a pop of color. I was super excited about it. I was like, yes, bold lip, bright colors, that's a look I'm going for. And then I changed my outfit. I put on the look I envisioned. I looked in the mirror and I was like, what my mind said and what the mirror is telling me are two different things. So I ended up putting on my Melt Edible Lip Liner, and then I put on Anastasia Beverly Hills Bittersweet Liquid Lipstick. This is actually one of my favorite go-to shades. It's one of those things where it's like, it was your favorite shade, you wore it for so long, and then you put it down, you forget about it, and then you see it again, you're like, like, how did I forget about this? So that's the shade I'm wearing right now. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing me create this look. Bless up, and until next time, sending out much peace, love, and enlightenment. Bye, guys.